Hey everybody, welcome to Cage My IQ. As always, I'm your host D-Bake. Today I will be recapping PFL Week 9, 2021, which was headlined by Brendan Loughnane versus Movlid Khaybulaev, which was one of the last semifinals of the PFL playoffs, and this was for that division that they were in, of course. But as always, this is Cage My IQ, the best place for MMA content. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch at the handles to the left, of course. We are now aligned with the Fighters First Network on YouTube. All you got to do is go to YouTube, put in Fighters First into the search thing, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the notification button so you don't miss any of the videos that pop up when we release them. And always, as always, when we release the video, if you can hit the like button on the video and give us your feedback on it, let us know what you thought of PFL Week 9. And of course, as always, once again, we have merch out now. So if you could go to fightersfirst.shop, scroll down to the Cage My IQ collection, click there and check out the merch that we have. We have a shirt in 3 different styles. Plus, we also have a hoodie out now. So with fall right up there and here in a few weeks, grab the hoodie, check it out, or just get the shirt. Everything's comfy. You don't have to put it in the washer before you put it on. Just support the Cage My IQ brand. And keep a lookout because in a couple weeks or so, we should be releasing more stuff on the network. Plus, check out all the Art of MMA merch, the Legendary series, and then also check out the tune-up crew for our boy Brandon Catino, of Art of MMA. So don't just check out our stuff. Check out all the other stuff on the Fighters First Network. Let us know what you think on Twitter and Instagram. Hit us up on the DMs there. Give us feedback, and then if you buy one of our Cage My IQ shirts, we'll give you a shout out on next week's show. But let's get started with the action on here on PFL 9. The first fight that we had on here was one of the late heavyweight semifinalist matchups, which saw Marthin Hamlet defeat Cezar Ferreira by first round TKO. This was basically a 5-minute ordeal right here because for the most part, only one strike was thrown. The bout started. Cezar Ferreira threw a left kick strike to Hamlet's leg, and then right after he threw it, he paused for a second, and then he held his leg. It was like a delayed reaction, and he fell to the ground. And then Marthin Hamlet came in and basically started throwing strikes until the ref stopped the fight. And then it comes to find out that when he threw the strike, he must have aggravated something in his leg, and he was in pain. And the fight was over from basically 10-15 seconds into the fight, and who knows what happened. There's been stories where other fighters that eliminated or were fighting said that at the weigh-ins that his leg looked black and blue, and the PFL let him fight anyway. But I think he had just a injury of some sort that he suffered from the leg kick, and it hasn't been basically put out yet. But it sucks for him to have trained all this time just to lose on his very first leg kick that he throws, where he basically lost to himself because Hamlet didn't have to throw anything afterwards. He just did it to get the ref to stop the fight. But all in all, I'll keep this short. Because of all that, Marthin Hamlet has a coast run to the finals with this easy first round TKO victory over Cezar Ferreira. And we're going to get to it in a second, who he's going to face in the finals of the light heavyweight portion of the PFL season. But congratulations to Marthin Hamlet. He moves on to the finals and has a chance at the $1 million. Let's move on to the second fight on PFL 9. It was the other half of the PFL light heavyweight tournament, and we saw Antonio Carlos Jr. defeat Emiliano Sordi by unanimous decision. This was a very fun fight to watch, just for the fact that for the first half of the fight, it was all Emiliano Sordi. He kept a good pace. He didn't overdo anything. He kept moving around, circling around Antonio Carlos Jr., hitting him with leg kicks, throwing like combinations here and there, just doing enough to get the judges' scores on his side. I gave round one to him. He did a little bit more than Antonio Carlos Jr. Then the first half of the second round, I gave him the same thing. But then you start to see, and halfway through the second round, the tide turned because it looked like Sordi was getting a little bit tired, and then Antonio Carlos Jr. started to shoot for the takedowns, and he started to get a couple towards the end of the second, and then he even started to get his striking going, as you see in the picture there. So I think the second half kind of swayed the judges with giving him this the second round just by the takedowns. And then the third round, to me, it was all him. He was able to get the takedowns, the striking going. He had a submission attempt, and then he just kept Sordi in the ground, and Sordi basically, I think he was out of it there, not consciously, just mentally, he was out of it. He had it going. He thought he was going to win the first two rounds and then just survive the third round. But Carlos was able to steal the second round, and then from there on, it was Antonio Carlos Jr. He was able to win the third round, and the judges scored it that way. They scored it for unanimous decision. They all gave the fight 29-28. Antonio Carlos Jr. And Antonio Carlos Jr. moves on to the finals of the PFL light heavyweight tournament, where he'll be facing Marthin Hamlet for a chance at $1 million and the title of light heavyweight champion for the 2021 season of the PFL tournament. Now moving on to the co-main event and the featherweight portion of the 2021 PFL tournament. We had Chris Wade defeat Bubba Jenkins by unanimous decision. Coming into this fight, these two guys had wise words to say to each other. Chris Wade said that he was going to come from Bubba Jenkins, and he felt Bubba Jenkins' persona was overrated, and he was coming in to finish him, whereas Bubba Jenkins kind of didn't care for Chris Wade much and said he was going to do to him what he did to everybody else, and that was to win, but he was going to go knock him out. And basically what happened in this fight was, from the start, Chris Wade had the momentum, and he said he was going to stuff all of Bubba Jenkins' takedowns, and for the most part, he stuffed the majority of his takedowns. He frustrated Jenkins from the beginning. He was getting his striking going, and then Chris Wade even was taking Bubba Jenkins down and was beating him with the striking on the ground and pound, and just controlled Bubba Jenkins on the ground, kept him from getting up. Whenever he tried to get up, he would put him back down. And then even when Jenkins would reverse anything, he would get right out of it and get right back on top of Jenkins. And Jenkins just was not in it the whole fight. The frustration got to him, and Chris Wade just had his way all fight. And then for the most part, he had a 30-27 on the judges' scorecards. I think one maybe did 29-28, but for the most part, Chris Wade showed out in the semifinals, broke the curse that he had in the semifinals of the past two semifinals, where he would lose in close fights to his opponent and then would never get to the finals. And he basically had to move down from lightweight to featherweight to improve his chances, and the third time's the charm, because in this fight he was able to basically beat up Bubba Jenkins, keep Bubba Jenkins from doing his wrestling and ground and pound game, and dominate this fight. And now he's moving on to the finals of the featherweight tournament of PFL, where he's going to be facing the winner of the main event, which we will get to in just a second. But congrats to Chris Wade on his semifinal win, and let's get moving to the recap of the main event. And in the main event of the featherweight tournament, we had Movlid Khaybulaev defeat Brandon Loughnane by split decision. To me, I don't know why it was a split decision. I thought the first 2 rounds were easily Movlid Khaybulaev, but all in all, in this fight, the last half of the semifinals of the featherweight portion of the tournament, in the first round, Movlid Khaybulaev was able to take down Brandon Loughnane right away and control him on the mat for majority of the round, where he just hit him a few times here and there. But the majority of the round, he just used it to control Loughnane on the ground to keep him from throwing any strikes. And then the second round, they were doing a little bit of going back and forth with the action, with the striking, but Movlid Khaybulaev was able to take him down again. I thought just with that and the takedown, it was enough for him to win the second round and the third round. And I think Brandon Loughnane was able to come back and get a little bit of gamesmanship going and with the striking, and then it seemed like maybe Movlid got tired out just a little bit, but all in all, it wasn't anything crazy in this fight. I thought Movlid was able to get the fight his type of fight where he was able to control the action for the first half of the fight, and then just did his game and avoided all the boxing for the majority of the fight that Brandon Loughnane is known for doing. He's known for his leg kicks and his striking from his boxing background. But Movlid, who came in at the 4 seed, had the methods to upset Brandon Loughnane. I was predicting, because of the matchup, that Movlid Khaybulaev was going to win, because he's a Khabib understudy, and it just seems like anything that Khabib touches turns to gold. And it didn't change in this matchup, because Movlid Khaybulaev defeated Brandon Loughnane by split decision. I thought it was supposed to be unanimous, but one of the judges thought otherwise. And now Movlid Khaybulaev is moving on to the finals of the 2021 featherweight portion of the PFL season, where he's going to be facing Chris Wade for $1 million and the chance at being called 2021 featherweight champion in PFL. But all in all, that was the end of the semifinal portion of the PFL tournament. We will be back at the end of October for the finals of every weight class on PFL 10. And it's going to be an exciting night where we will crown 6 champions in PFL, and all of them will be $1 million richer. But this season of PFL has been fun and has been full of action, and we can't wait until they come back next year, bigger and better than ever, on ESPN, and hopefully they'll fix a few of the tweaks that they've had issues with streaming. Like for this week, like the main card had an hour gap because of coverage from a football game. But all in all, I felt good with the season, but tune in, of course, next month for my coverage of PFL 10, basically the finals of every weight class. As always, I'm your host, D-Bake. This was the PFL 9 2021 recap show, headlined by Brandon Loughnane versus Movlid Khaybulaev. And of course, you can check out all of our coverage of UFC, Bellator, and PFL on the Fighters First Network several days a week. And of course, I hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and then give us a shout out. And don't forget to hit the like button on this video and hit the notification button on the YouTube channel. But that'll wrap things up, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.